Good morning from the farm. I just got here, threw them some hay. Mo's in the barn eating his. I wanted to come on here today and talk about blanketing. Lots of people have been asking me why one of my horses is not blanketed. How come one gets a blanket, the other ones don't get blankets? What the deal with that is. And honestly, it's a big long answer, and everybody has a different opinion about it. It's kind of a very controversial topic. So I want to tell you a little bit about why I blanket some of the time and my reasoning behind it. So two of my horses, my older horses, Miss T and Momo, both of them have thick winter coats. They've always grown very, very heavy winter coats. So typically, it's healthy for horses to grow their own coat, meaning you don't blanket them in the beginning, when it's fall and it's, 50 degrees. So at that point, you're not blanketing them and you're letting them adapt to the elements. So, and also like when there's lack of daylight. So as we get shorter days as far as sunlight goes, that will be an opportunity for them to grow their own hair as well. So typically in my horse land over here, we don't blanket unless it's really, really cold out or it's wet. So a couple days ago, it rained for several days. So all my horses got rain jackets, and they're just really thin material and water wicking so that they just stay dry, which I think is kind. I also don't think it's necessary. The horses have like an outer coat, so like the water will like stay on their hair, but it won't absorb into their skin. So I'm going to show you what Miss T looks like, because she is very woolly and she gets a warm, thick winter coat. And she doesn't require a blanket typically. I do have one. I have everything. Everybody has all their stuff. Everybody has a blanket. Everybody has a rain jacket. And they're not neglected by any means. These horses are very spoiled, and they get all the love and all the food and all their needs are met all the time. So Miss T grows a very thick, heavy winter coat, and right now it's snowing out, and I'll show you how like the snow, it doesn't absorb into her skin. It just like sits on the top of her hair. And so it doesn't penetrate her. So if you like put your hand like deep into her skin, you can feel the warmth coming off of her, and she's not cold. There's a couple spots around their body where you can like feel the cold and see if they're cold. The tips of their ears are a spot. Behind their shoulder is another spot to see if they're feeling cold. And horses will also kind of tell you, especially I'm out here every single day, twice a day, maybe more sometimes. And just being around them, they do try to tell you things, if you listen. So, the other night it was 6 degrees out, and then with the wind chill, it was like negative 15 or so. It was really, really cold. It was freezing for me. And so during those times, we just give them a bunch of extra hay so that they're always chewing. They're always trying to regulate their own temperature to deal with the element. So we, they're always eating hay. I just give them extra food. And then, with all the shelter that we have, our little barn and the shelter logic over here, all of that provides warmth and a space for them to get out of the wind. And that helps them create more heat. And in the barn, with all the windows closed and everything, and all 3 horses in there, it gets toasty. Even when it's really, really cold, it's still like comfortable. So, they would not need a blanket either. And if they were real cold, they would snuggle. If they needed, extra warmth, the hay and the shelter wasn't enough, that they could snuggle together. So the day that it was really cold the other night, Mo started shivering, and I noticed that he seemed a little uncomfortable, just like eating food. He was kind of eating funny, and it just didn't sit well with me. And I thought, you know, if I can add a blanket to him and that makes him more comfortable, then I feel a lot better leaving here. So I did. I put a blanket on him, and he has been so happy. He was so appreciative. So, just reading their body language, really making sure that all their needs are met. That's when I feel most comfortable leaving here, because I don't like leaving here otherwise, because I love it out here. So I'm going to show you Miss T really quick here, show you her hair, and show you how the snow is sitting on top of her hair. So there's my pretty little lady. There she is. Oh, Miss T, she's a good girl. So you can see the snow sitting on her hair, right? And like you see how long her hair is. You like don't even see my fingers anymore. She's got long, gorgeous, luscious hair all over her body. All over. All over. She said, "Stop looking at me." And you can see the snow kind of sits on top of her, but it doesn't penetrate her skin. It just kind of sits on the surface, and it's not actually in there. So I'll show you again here. She's got luscious, beautiful hair. And Mo has it too, but we shaved him in the fall last year. And I think that made it so his hair hasn't grown in fully yet. So he has a couple like bare spots, or less hairy spots, I guess you would call it. So he wanted a blanket on the other night, which was totally fine. And T has one too, and I checked her to make sure that she was fine, and she has seemed great through all of this. So she's just happy doing her thing. And Dylan doesn't really grow hair. He's younger, and usually younger horses don't grow as thick of a coat. As you guys know, Dylan is also a paint, so he's red and white, and his white hairs grow and the red hairs don't. I don't know why or who made that up, but that is how it goes, which is really funny for him. But his hair is very thin anyways, so we just give him a blanket when it's really cold, or if it's really wet, then we'll cover him just to make him more comfortable. But otherwise, that is how I blanket my horses. As for other horses, if the horses are in work all year long, so like you have an indoor arena and you ride them consistently every day, you don't want their hair to be long, so you'd want to blanket them earlier in the season when it's like 50 degrees. You'd start blanketing them, and that would basically turn off those signals in the horse to not grow hair, because you already have warmth with a coat. So if they were to have long hair and then you rode them, they would get sweaty, and then when they're sweaty, you have to take other precautions to keep them dry and not getting more cold. So there's all kinds of controversy about blanketing, whether or not it's the answer, but that is what we do here. My horses don't get worked too often. If they do, we try not to make them sweat, especially this time of year. But that's what we do here, and everybody's good. Mo just came out of the barn over here. He's like, "What are you doing, Mom? Can you feed us breakfast, please?" All right. So everybody is good here. Wanted to give you a little update about the blanketing thing. If you have any questions, let me know below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.